My name is Stuarts Lyme, and I came to Envita for Lyme disease. So we found it in 2013, and before that I was working around the world, skiing and rafting and climbing and in a bunch of adventure sports. And so I actually went to a chiropractor for my knees and my back. And so he was doing a bunch of tests, and he said that all my joints were really weak. I was like 24, 25 at the time. He said, you have the joints of a 40 or 50-year-old man who's been doing this work your whole life. So he recommended that I go to a clinic in Reno. I went down there and they found Lyme, and they said, at this time, it's not really a big deal for you. Go live your life, but if you get sick later in life, know this, that this could be a problem for you. And so sure enough, about 6 months ago, I got really sick. I had an intestinal infection and it wasn't getting better. All of a sudden my joints hurt again. I was tired and fatigued and couldn't live my life. I had to quit my job. My wife became my full-time caretaker, and I really just couldn't function in the world. I couldn't function at work, couldn't even function at home, and it seemed like life had just come to a complete grinding stop. All the doctors that we talked to didn't know anything about Lyme. And so the worst feeling in the world is when you go to clinic after clinic, doctor after doctor, and you don't feel heard and you don't feel recognized. And so when we read about Envita, it really was the only option for us. Yeah, so I was really nervous to call. My wife was pushing and pushing, just pick up the phone, just call Envita, just get something started. And so I picked up the phone and called, and Danielle was my patient care coordinator when we started. Immediately over the phone, she said, tell me what you're feeling, tell me what's going on. Told her the story, told her my symptoms, and she goes, yeah, that sounds like that could definitely be Lyme, and you need to come see us. When I hung up the phone with Danielle, I turned to my wife, she was sitting there and listening, and I was like, you won't believe what just happened. She got us an appointment, she thinks that we're right, and we can come in this week. And that was huge for us. Just after months and months of struggle, to us it felt like she was able to turn the world upside down to get us in. I've never had an experience with a doctor like this in my entire life. Dr. Helma walked in and he lays out my file, which is about this thick, and he opens it up and I can see that it's organized. I can see that there's detailed handwritten notes. He was able to reference my medical papers, everything from the time I was born, as if I was his own child. I didn't know that there's any doctor in the world who was willing to know you and who you are. For me, I think the best part about Envita and going through that journey is that you're not going through it alone. You're able to build this community with the different patients here. And the nurses are phenomenal, and they're doing their jobs. And they're some of the most competent human beings I've ever seen in my life. But they're helping to facilitate these connections with the other patients. It's really empowering. And when you get sick, and you're sick for a long time, and you don't really know why, and nobody can explain it, you don't feel heard, and it really messes with you. It breaks down who you think you are and who everything you built yourself up to be and who you identify with and all that stuff. And then for all this to be heard and validated, and then to come on the other side of it, and only in a matter of a couple months, that's huge. People take their entire lives and don't get there. That turning point for me, I literally sat in the chair and started crying. And I'm probably gonna cry now, just thinking about it. I woke up one morning and it was like another day, but I felt good, but it was, like another grind. And, I sat down in the chair and just looked around the room, and I felt good. I felt better than before I got sick 6 months ago, better than I felt in the past 7 years, and I didn't know I could, I'm gonna cry, and, I didn't know that I could feel, good. I still can't describe it, it's like waking up, for the first time, and there's life after this.